So what do you guys think about Steve Evans' new job title, fan adult collector?
No,
For
thank
Marvel
God.
and Star Wars.
We need an
Right?
advocate. We need an advocate. That is, they should change the title to fan collector advocate against the evil asshole mouse, because that is exactly what we need. We need someone to say, no, that's a bad idea. That won't sell. That will go on clearance. That will cost us money. Don't make that. Make this instead. That's literally the thing that solves the problem of both Marvel and Star Wars. There he is.
There's the collector.
There he is.
What's going on? Wait, hold on.
Hey.
There we go.
What are you doing?
Okay. What is going on here?
He's doing your impersonation.
Lovely.
See, I don't vape, so I had to get my iron out.
That's great, Chris.
That's fantastic.
So I got some questions for you. So what about this, guys? What about some Star Wars like 6-inch like diorama type of things? You know, we've talked about this before, Dave. Like a Star Destroyer bridge, or like, you know, a Millennium Falcon cockpit in 6-inch that you could put like Han and, you know, Leia and Chewie in, or something like that. That, you know, would be a nice display piece for a shelf. You know, that maybe is like $150. You know, either
like a HasLab. You talking like a HasLab idea?
Yeah, either a HasLab or, you know, a playset type of thing.
Why you want to put Land Speed or Luke out of business? Why you got to be like that?
I don't. I buy a ton of his stuff, actually.
So
yeah, I just think how they revitalized that Star Wars line, you know, because everybody is just kind of, you know, everybody's kind of burnt out on it. And like you guys were saying earlier, like the figures that they're coming out with are just like repacks or retools, and you know, it's everybody's kind of numb on it a bit, and I'm just trying to figure out how do you add more excitement to it. What about this? Could they ever do Build-A-Figure parts for Star Wars? You know, I mean, they already did a Wampa, you know what I mean? But they could have done like a Wampa Build-A-Figure or a Tauntaun Build-A-Figure. Or see, my other thought always too was to do, instead of a Build-A-Figure, do like a Build-A-Diorama. Like you get a piece to, like, say, the trash compactor from the Death Star, and you get a panel, you know, with each figure, and then after you buy 8 figures, you assemble it and you have the trash compactor. You know,
it's an excellent idea. They won't.
I like that idea.
Here's the bottom line: no matter what, repaints don't sell unless they change the character completely. The repaints for any line, it doesn't matter what it is, they don't do well, so they shouldn't do it. And yet they do it all the time. Yeah, like who said, yeah, no, these will totally sell again. They're army builders. These idiots don't care. I have 4 fucking snow serpents and 6 eels. I'm not buying another one. And all I want to do in life is buy G.I. Joe figures.
Like you said, though, it's like everything goes to clearance now and peg worms at some point. So after a while, I was kind of like with the snow serpent. I'm like, oh, I'll eventually see it at Target. Like, why am I going to chase this? Because I've chased so many things and paid full price. Yeah. And then, you know, 2 months later, it's $14.99 and there's 20 of them. And I'm like,
absolutely.
So I'm like, what, you know, it wasn't something I really needed or wanted. And I kind of just had that attitude, but you don't know which ones are going to disappear. You know, it's weird.
No, the amount of Hasbro figures that actually did disappear last year is incredibly small, like across all lines. It's really small.
My old life was, I was a buyer for TJX and Ross stores. At different times, and it drives me up the wall because they are the models that they work off of, that Ross works off of, is to burn the inventory and just turn the floor over and over again, and keep guys like us going in to hopefully find something that is there one day and is not there the next day. And so,
you know, most of the collectors now skew towards the 6-inch, you know, 20 something points of articulation. They want lots of articulation. They want realistic looking figures. They want all the weapons and accessories. A lot of us too, we're older. We have those 5 POA ones, the originals, you know?
That's why I got back into collecting, was because they weren't 5 POA anymore. Like I as a kid, I was dreaming of the things we should be able to do with action figures. And now that they can, I'm like, yeah, let's do that. So no, I don't. The only thing I'll collect that has less than, you know, the 22 or so points of articulation is my little like Pokemon collection over there. Like
that's different. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's the demand for 3 3/4 though. Like it's not there overall. It's just not.
It's
It's
not.
just not. The people who love that will never accept it, and they'll even Mr. Stevie, I'm sure, will never admit it. But it's true. Every other toy maker does.
Did you guys watch the Nerdzoic video this week about where he talked about what sold at his store?
Yes.
No,
That was
that
interesting,
was
huh?
That was really interesting.
Yeah.
That's the kind of information I know. I know some of it was coming up in when it was just the Daves talking, but that's kind of the stuff that I would love to hear from Hasbro too. Is like, I joke with on our group that I'm the corporate minded one. Like, I love this hobby, but like everything to me is dollars and cents when I'm going through this stuff, and it drives me up the wall to like have been in production and no like real thresholds that have to be met and real barriers that people have to meet with licenses. I'd like to know more of like that, the big nerdies type of information from Steve. I know they can't share that, but
Yeah.
they'll never tell you. Yep. They'll never tell you. The Hypnotized Indiana was supposed to be a Target exclusive, and then they changed it to cut Molaram out of the line because someone at Lucas decided, no, you can't make that. That's no. So it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It's embarrassing in every way. In fairness to everything involved, it is tough to make a Black Series HasLab affordable enough to where it will actually get funded. It just is.
Yep.
So
And you guys get the sail barge. Dave, you have the sail barge, right?
No, I'm just waiting for Steve to give me one.
I wish I had one.
Me too.
Yeah. Like,
he always gives them away to like someone he has to like drive to, like in the Midwest.
I know.
You know? I'm like, I live right in the next town over, man. Why don't you drive over here with one of those?
Yeah.
I wish that they would, like, I don't want them to re-release HasLabs because I think that would be really shitty for everyone who owns them, and I just don't want them to do it. But if they did, I would buy that barge in a second. Wait a minute. We skipped right by this. What did Big Nerdy say? What did he say sold, and what did he say didn't?
Well, just tell everybody, go watch it on his YouTube. It was this week, and he broke down his sales for 2023 as his toy store sales by percentage. So he talked about which toy company sold what, how much NECA did he sell, how much Hasbro, how much Mattel.
So you're rounding off. They make close to 250 Marvel Legends. They make close to 130 Black Series figures. And then they made, I think the number for G.I. Joe, if I'm not mistaken, was 81. Yeah, now I want to see.
Oh, you're going to go get it now. He's going to go get it.
I do.
You're going to get demonetized right now. This is where it all goes down.
No, she's got clothes on. She's not naked. She's
right
got,
now.
Like, thing. Not now.
No, right now she does.
It's one of those rubberized. It's got like a metal skeleton in it.
That looks nice.
But she looks great. It's a cool figure.
I love how the company has to tell you, though, don't come on this. It's not for
Yeah, it's from China. It's like broken English, like not sex toy, and it's like, bend carefully, and with all the rules, and then like the last one is like that, and you're like, hey man, what? I like Conan stuff.
Yeah. See, he just said Darth Talon. Darth Talon is not a sex toy. It's just not. Come on, man. Come on. We can put enough
Jeremy. Where's that Darth Talon?
Let me try to steer us back on topic a little bit here, guys. My goodness, I invite my friends over, and now it's all about going way off the rails.
Sorry.
Hasbro. Jeremy, do you have anything you want to say to Steve at Hasbro? Do you have any comments back on his thoughts, his questions? Chris?
No, sadly, I mean, again, I go back to the things that it's the things that I want to know are the things that I can't know as a public person. I could only know that as a shareholder or someone that's high up in the offices. I can speculate all I want about the quality of the movies that have come out and Hasbro having to back it contractually, or I should say the lack of quality of movies. I can speculate, having worked under licenses in the past, I understand the restrictions that come along with them and the requirements. So, I think the things I'd like to know, I can't know. And I think some of the other things that you guys have already talked about is the decision-making going forward. Like, I understand the MCU restrictions, but like when we start talking about comic lines, because Marvel Legends is really my number one under Hasbro, is like, I don't need some of these really D-tier, non-classic looks of characters to flush out a wave. So I guess kind of like, I would just like to know more about the decision-making process. of maybe that they could share with me, but I know the things that I really want to know they can't.
And just for those that may not know, what do you mean when you say the things you really want to know?
The things I really want to know are like the numbers behind it, the sales figures, the contractual requirements, the loopholes or tape that they have to get through to actually make something, either confirm or deny the things that I already think are occurring because of my past. But
let me push a little bit on that. Why does that information matter to you? How does that make you want to buy more figures from them? I'm just double advocating, and
it probably wouldn't help them at all, to be honest with you. But I mean, I'm pulling back as it is, and I think that if I knew some of the things that, if there's anything that I found out that was in their control, that wasn't a contract from the mouse, then I would be sitting there and I'd be livid, but I'd have something to go off of and say, hey, you're making bad decisions. You need to make better decisions on some of these things because I want to give you my money, but I'm not going to give you my money if you keep making these bad decisions.
So, and let me just stay on it because this is like really important.
I think I would have some more empathy to some of the decisions they make. It doesn't mean that I'm going to go out and buy an Eternals wave because I did that at $4 and they're, engineering wise, they're great. They're good figures. I don't want to call them great figures.
Yeah.
But like I'd have some empathy and I wouldn't sit there and be crapping all over them for their business practices. If I'm like, no, I know the mouse is holding them at their knees and they have to do these things. And again, like I said, I know this from things of my past, but I can't confirm it. Like I don't know from their corporate lines of what their agreements are. But when someone sits there and complains about like, well, I don't understand why they're making MCU figures. I'm like, they have to make MCU figures. They don't have a choice. They're beholden to that if they want to make, another retro carded Spider-Man line, which is probably more of their moneymaker.
With Disney.
Let's just clear this up with the I think and whatever. They 150,000% are contractually obligated to make this crap. Like it's there's no question about it. Like there none whatsoever. And that is the problem. 1,
I would like Steve to share that with us. I would like to have something from Hasbro. I would
that he'll probably be free with. I think he'll absolutely be free with that information. Sure. But
not the numbers of them. He'll say that yes, they have to make them.
No.
I think so the other side of it too is, and I'm sorry, I don't like to jump back in, but I think the one piece that is not factored in is at some point it was mentioned in the conversation, but it's hard to measure the hindrance of what COVID did. In terms of slowing down production, in terms of hurting movie production, in terms of and again, I'd have to know, but like, did they really not sell Eternals, or were they just like, oh crap, we're not going to get a new wave in, we're not going to get new tooling in, we have to put something on the shelves? And then the same thing for Doctor Strange and all those things is that they were playing catch up the whole time with bad properties.
That's a great question.
During the pandemic, when they had the great uptick in customers, right? Like we can all agree that happened in every form of collecting. Like people were bored, they had nothing else to do, so it's like, I'm going to collect. The line for Pokemon cards outside of Target was insane. People were running to our aisles and just grabbing everything. Not the Eternals though, so they were never going to sell no matter what. Like it was not going to happen. And
I wondered why nobody was running with me towards the Eternals figures that I grabbed at full price. No.
Right. It was just never going to happen. So, and the worst thing that Hasbro could have done when they have this one giant uptick of new collectors, it's like the thing they talk about all the time, that's a completely mythical thing, and now they actually have it. So what do? They raise the price and make it plastic-free packaging, which literally everyone is pissed off about and hates. Now you have these jumped up production numbers at a pandemic level that they can't slow down because God forbid they make any change fast. Now we have all this liquidation. Now it's going to start to fucking do that. Now it's going to start to level out.
He's
So
controlling your mind with his powers that you can't buy.
I still haven't seen that movie, by the way.
No, never. I'll never.
Well, that's why you bought all the figures then.
Yeah, no.
I just thought the figures looked cool. I don't know.
Everyone made fun of Funko when they melted down 27,000 or however many it was Funko Pops. Maybe not the worst idea.
So with the contractually obligated to make these things, like the question that I have is, why is Falcon committed to bombing the line that he created? Because who else at Marvel is going to be in charge of the go-between between Marvel and Hasbro? It's fucking Falcon. Like, he's at the shows and everything. So, and the man even said, and the thing that, like, I went back right away and Screed recorded it, and I thought, I'm going to use this against you every chance I get. When they made Giant Man, they said, we wanted to make something people were going to buy. That is an exact quote. Why is there a Sprite figure? Why is there an Everett Ross? Why is there a Jimmy fucking Woo? There is a 0% chance of these selling. 0.
I don't have Jimmy Woo. You got Giant Man though, right? You bought Giant Man.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I'm not a bitch, and I actually like to pay for nice things, like unlike some people in the Legends community.
I think Giant Man was a good price. I thought it's a good figure.
It is, and it was. It is.
You know, it's disappointing we didn't get that last extra head. You know.
So, what do you guys think about Steve Evans' new job title, fan adult collector?
No,
for Marvel and Star Wars.
We need an advocate. We need an advocate. That is, they should change the title to fan collector advocate against the evil asshole mouse, because that is exactly what we need. We need someone to say, no, that's a bad idea. That won't sell. That will go on clearance. That will cost us money. Don't make that. Make this instead. That's literally the thing that solves the problem of both Marvel and Star Wars. Think about how great that would be. Imagine me in the room. I'm working for Hasbro, and Disney tells me we need to make the mechanic from The Mandalorian. And like, what was my response going to be? You don't have a fucking prayer in hell, asshole. We're making Darth Talon instead because that one is going to actually sell. Are you trying to tank my company? Have you seen how many people I've had to lay off in the last 2 years because of your bullshit? No. We're going to make this, or you can go somewhere else with your license. Problem solved.